we're finally getting around to looking at that TS195 integral. So, I mean, there's not much else to say, except it's one of the few integrals I like. So, you guys know what time it is. Here comes a little bit of music. This came in from Jared back here. This guy, keep up with Jared's channel because there's a lot of announcements about a huge giveaway that's going to be happening soon. So as soon as Jared gets it all figured out, we'll be announcing it everywhere. But go over and check out Jared's channel if you're not already subscribed. Well, you should be, because I am. I watch most of everything Jared puts out. I can't watch it all. He puts out a lot of content. So this came in from Jared. And this is that TS195 integral. Now, typically, I'm not a fan of integrals. I think they're silly. I think they weigh too much. I think it costs too much to make. And I just think that I think it's not going the right direction. But this one I do like. There's only a couple things about it that I could honestly say are issues. So let's not talk about it anymore. Let's turn this around and take a good close look at it, get some specs and my perspectives on it and things like that. So here we go. Let's turn it around. So guys, this is the TS195 by Two Sun Knives. This is an integral. Let's get some specs out of the way. So first of all, this knife is an overall length of 7.68 inches. I always forget to give the actual overall length. So this has a blade length of 2.95 inches, done in M390, and it's a Wharncliffe with a satin burger grinder finish. They're using a blade stock thickness of 0.13, but let me grab the calipers so we can take a look at it and make sure. All right, 0.13 they say. Let's see here, 0.13, 1310. That's about as close to 1.3 as you're going to get. Let's flip it open. Let's get the behind the edge thickness before we move on to the rest of the specs. So just behind the edge, you are looking at 0.0245, 0.025. Not horrible on blade stock thickness. It does cut really well, even though it is a little thicker behind the edge than the last couple knives I did. Like I said, it's done in a satin, and the handles are a single piece of titanium that is an integral mill. Does run on KVT bearings. It has steel lock bar insert, and it's a frame lock. So as you can see, it's a flipper and front flipper, top flipper. I'm not a fan of that, and let me show you why. They're really close together. If you happen to be flipping it and you don't get your finger out of the way, that that forward flipper is so close that before you can get your hand out of the way, it bumps up against. Right, sure. With his alarms on his car, it does that literally every time it does it 24/7. I'm going to start complaining. Like I said, this is done in a titanium integral with a checkered or grenade pattern on it. And the handle on this is 4.33 inches. It does have a titanium pocket clip that is fairly comfortable. The only issue I had with the pocket clip, it's a little tight. In and out of pocket, this was a little tight. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things. Like I said, the flipper tab can be problematic if you're one of those guys that push buttons. So if you're one of those guys that pushes in instead of light switching, you're probably going to bump that into your hand. And then the jimping on this, as you can see right there for you to get action in hand, it's a little sharp in there. I could have done without the aggressive jimping. As you can see, it is fairly aggressive, flat-topped jimping. And it's a little sharp. It's not horrible, but it is a little sharp. It does have jimping up here on the spine, fairly far forward on that thumb ramp. And it's just about the right amount there. But here it can be a little sharp. Like I said, pocket clip is a little bit, it's a little bit tight. And this does have one of those cutouts for the lock bar that is on the outside. And this does have a tendency to catch pockets. It's not as smooth as some other knives, I have this in my pocket to show, this has been chamfered over really nicely, and it doesn't catch or grab near as badly on my Norseman. I like knives that this is on the inside. I much prefer knives where that's on the inside. Unfortunately, on this Integral, I think that it might have been a little bit hard. The pocket clip is screwed from the top, single point, but it doesn't seem to shift. It is on there rock solid. And then those beautiful pivots that you have there. So all in all, like aesthetically, it's great. There's only one other real issue I found with this, and that's that this right here, this area right here, really sharp. Like if you were trying to finger flick that and you were using your fingernail, it's gonna, see, can I get it to do it? Can you see? It just, like, it'll take it's cutting my fingernail. Little sharp. That would need, I would want that to be a little bit more chamfered inside, maybe run a ball end mill through there. But when you do it this way, it gives it a really super crisp line that you can see. There's no chamfering, and it's really a clean line. So, I mean, if you're going just for aesthetics, I can see why. Top flipper on this, not bad at all. The pivot, however, has worked loose. See, I was talking about that. The pivot has worked loose a couple times while I had it. But, you know, a little bit of Loctite, that's fine. It's not my knife. I didn't throw any Loctite on it because this is Jared's knife. I didn't want to change anything on that. But if this was mine, I'd just take that pivot screw out and put a little bit of Loctite on that screw and tighten it right back down, just so it didn't walk its way loose. And especially if you use that blue Loctite stick, you're not going to have too many problems with it. Like I said, though, guys, this thing cuts like a champ. If you want a knife where you can, like, get up on something and do, like say you were cutting out something like a pattern or something like that, it's a good knife for that. It definitely does cut really well. It's got a unique Wharncliffe, almost sax style. It reminds me a lot of the Roxy with the way the blade terminates. Nothing else, just the way that blade terminates and comes down. Very sax-esque, Sayax-esque, I should say. Clean lines on it. It was a lot of fun to carry. I do still say integrals are silly because, you know, you just added some difficulty. It makes them a little heavier. It's really hard to do any light, you know, any skeletonization, any milling to lighten that up. And I think you're just paying more than you should technically. So speaking of which, I wrote down the price and I can't find it. Give me just a second. Let me go grab the price on it. Sorry about that, guys. I did have it written down here. These were $214 on White Mountain Knives. So, you know, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other Tucson knives, but, you know, if you're into integrals, this is a really good, comfortable one. I love the way it feels in hand. It really is very comfortable. I thought I wasn't going to like it because it is a little sway back here, but when you get it in hand, really comfortable. You can actually even get up into that like a full finger choil and do some heavy cutting, like downforce cutting and things like that. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised how much I like this knife, and even to the point where I ignored a lot of the other things. So final spec on this is, let's go ahead and get the weight. It says that it's 4.59 ounces. That's because I was talking about it being a little heavy. That's why I saved the weight for the very last, because, you know, comparatively, I've got another knife here that we're gonna kind of 4.59, so 4.5 ounces in grams. For those of you that don't do freedom units, it is 131 grams. For comparison, that's not that much more expensive or more weight than, you know, my Norseman is not that much heavier. 4.59 ounces. This is 5 1/8. So it is heavier, but like when you look at the size, it's just the fact that that is one solid piece of titanium that they've milled that out of. So it does add some weight. So let's get this out of the way. Overall, this would be a good knife if you wanted something that you knew was solid and reliable. This is a good knife. M390 steel, can't go wrong with that. The action on it is great. Those KVT ceramic bearings seems to be great. Like I said, that does bother me because I wish it weren't so close to, like, even if you get off of it a little bit, it will still bump. But overall, guys, Great knife. Thank you very much, Jared, for sending it. The fact that I got an integral in that I could really get behind was kind of cool. So, guys, let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. So like I said, guys, nothing too bad on this one. Just a couple little hot spots, couple little sharp spots that I wish they'd addressed. And then other than that, really not a lot. It cuts really well. It's really well made. It's a very attractive knife, and the fact that this is an integral I can get behind, I'm kind of surprised. So yeah. Well, guys, that's it for this one. If you guys like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I have some new affiliates that we'll get to down below, but you know, if you want to support the channel, one of the easiest ways is to share the channel like I did with Jared's. But if you want to support the channel financially, there's a few ways you can do it. Like I just mentioned, affiliate links. I have a couple new affiliate links down below. I actually have SOG as an affiliate now, and I have a VPN. So go check them out. There's all kinds of stuff down there. You can get deals and stuff like that. If you purchase something through Amazon, even if it's not the item you click on, I still get credit. Amazon pays me. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. I have the Join tab down below, gets you early access to videos, exclusive content, exclusive giveaways, and premium tier members get a sharpening tutorial, and all members get $5 off on sharpening here at CrazySharp. And the final way you can support the channel is through my merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co. I have a coupon code that saves you 10% anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. It's CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. Guys, that's it. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. It makes it easier to moderate. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video. Did it again. Where's the remote?